Good day. In the earlier lesson, we learned how to agree the verb with the subject in terms of inverted order, in terms of the compound subject, and in terms of indefinite pronoun as a subject. In this lesson, we're going to learn more about how we agree the verb with its collective noun as a subject, how to agree the verb in terms of words expressing amount or time, and when we use the number of or a number of, and how can we use and agree the verb with the subject if the noun is a singular but has a plural form, and when do we use don't or doesn't, and if we have subjects with linking verb followed by predicate nominative, what do we agree the verb with? Should we agree the verb with the subject or should we agree it with the predicate nominative? And of course, this is number 7, if you have titles that include plural subjects or plural nouns, should we use the plural verb or should we use the singular verb? So let's start with the collective nouns. So a quick definition of collective nouns. Collective noun is a noun that names a group. It names a group, and this group contains things or contains people. Okay? And usually this noun is singular. Example of these collective nouns can be team. So a team is a noun which is singular, but includes members of that team. So includes a group of people in that team. Similarly, you have committee. Again, you have group of people in this committee. A cattle, group of animals included in cattle. Audience is one example of collective noun, includes a group of people in that audience. So any word that contains or refers to group of people, a group of things that are included in that noun is called a collective noun because it collects all the group of people, all the group of things or animals in that group. Okay? Now, the question is, since it's a noun that refers to a group of people or things, should be treated as singular or should be treated as plural? So let's look at this example. If I said my family meets every year on Eid holiday. Alright? Now clearly the verb is meet, that's the verb, and that's the subject. Now the question is, does the verb agree with the subject? If it agrees, then meet is a plural verb referring to a plural subject. But we know family is a collective noun. In this sentence, it's treated as plural. Why is that? It's because we're referring to family as groups, the members of the family meeting together. Alright? So it's not that the family working as one entity, it's that the members of the family are meeting every year on holiday, on Eid holiday. And so in this case we use family as plural, and then we have to agree the verb with its plural collective noun. But if I said my family goes on a trip every Eid holiday. Alright? So in this case, again, the family is a collective noun. It's a collective noun. And the verb is, this is the verb, and that's the subject. And family here works as one entity. They go together as one entity on an Eid holiday. Therefore, we have to treat family here as singular. Therefore, the verb is singular. We add an s there. That express amount or express time. Should we use them as plural or singular? Let's start with words that express amount or quantity. So I'm going to designate it as quantity here. So let's say, for example, 2 kilometers is the distance from my school. Now, the verb here is, so I'm treating that here as singular verb. And the subject, in this case, is a quantity. Here is a unit of measurement, which is kilometers, although it ends with an S. It refers to one distance. So if it refers to one distance, then this is 1 unit of measurement. 1 unit of measurement. So if I refer to 1 unit of measurement, then I treat the quantity, which is the measurement, as singular. Another example, if I have, for example, an amount of money. So let's say um, 2 riyals is the price of this candy. Now again, here you have a linking verb and it's here singular, although the subject is riyals, which is 2 riyals, but we're referring to one price. So since it's referring to one price, then this is one sum of money. So we call this one sum of money, which is the purpose of this money is to buy this candy, or the price of this candy. Now if I said I have 2 riyals in my pockets, in other words, I can say 2 riyals is or are in my pocket. In this case, there's no function for the 2 riyals. There's no sum of the amount, or the sum of money to purchase it for, to use it for something. So it's only there in my pocket. So I'm referring to these riyals as riyal 1 and riyal 2 together in my pocket. Therefore, I treat that as a plural because it doesn't have any function there. The same rule applies when I'm referring to weight. Okay, so let's say, for example, 50 kilograms is the weight of my little brother. Okay, so again the same thing applies here. This is linking verb, that's the kilograms, and it's plural, refers to weight, which is 1 unit of weight. But what about time? So let's say 2 weeks is our standard vacation. Now The verb here is used as singular verb, although the subject is plural, but refers to one vacation, which is 1 unit of time. So the vacation is a unit of time. Therefore, 2 weeks is treated as singular. The same thing applies when I want to talk about time in terms of minutes or hours. I can say 5 minutes was too long for him to wait. Again, although this is plural, the verb is singular because referring to one time measurement, which is one time that he wants to wait, or what we call a duration. Now, in terms of the number of or a number of, which one should we choose or use as a singular or plural? In the first example, which is the number of applicants was large, we always use the number of anything as singular, because whenever you use the number of, it works as one entity. In terms of a number of starts with indefinite article, then we use it always with plural verb that should agree with this plural subject. This is the subject. This is because a number of applicants, they work individually, they don't work as one unit. So again, the number of is singular, a number of is always plural. Now, what if a singular noun has plural form? Words such as news, mathematics, mumps, physics, and many other words are singular nouns that end with s but are treated as singular and not plural. So the form is plural, but the words are singular. And these are treated as singular, therefore we use singular verb with them. Now, what about doesn't or don't or haven't or hasn't? In terms of these contractions, always go back to the original verb and take out the contraction to make sure that the verb agrees with the subject. For example, doesn't he like my pie? So the contraction, which is doesn't, is actually does not. He like my pie. So only in this case you agree the verb with the subject, which is he. The same thing applies to hasn't and haven't. So always take out the contraction and compare the verb with the subject and agree the verb with the subject. Now, what if the subjects have linking verbs and a predicate nominative? Let's look at this example. Novels are a good way to learn literature. Okay. Now, the verb is are, which is a linking verb. The subject is novels, and the predicate nominative is way. This is the predicate nominative. So no matter what the case is, the verb always agrees with the subject and never agrees with the predicate nominative. Okay? So you always look at the subject and never look at the predicate nominative when you want to agree the verb with the subject. In the case of titles that have plural nouns, titles are always treated as singular. No matter how many nouns do you have in this title, they're always singular subjects or singular noun. So in this example, the Battles of Civil War is an intriguing painting. So we know that the Battles of Civil War is the title of this painting. Therefore, it's treated as singular, although we have battles and a whole phrase there. So again, titles are always treated as singular no matter how many nouns you have in the title, or if you have plural nouns in the title. It's always treated as singular.